Don't make me turn the event around and stop. I got it. Good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Woo! How's everybody doing? Enough coffee yet? Welcome to 1 Million Cups, the place where you like to go every Wednesday morning. Yeah. Three enthusiastic people. All right, 1 Million Cups. We love our QR codes here. So if you want to stream us live next time you're not here, there's a QR code for that. If you want to be a presenter, we'd love you to present. Do you have a QR code for that? If you want to follow us on social, which please do, we got a QR code for that. And we have a clicker that doesn't work. How many speakers?
Morning. How are you? I did go on a ride the other day, but it was with like an 8. Yeah. I didn't even finish it. Really? I got a flat. I just like putting it back on. It was just terrible.
For those of you who don't know what 1 Million Cups are, what the hell have you been? We are a place that provides supportive, inclusive space for entrepreneurs, small businesses, and like-minded people to get together every week at 8:30 all across the country. It's a place where we get together and we brainstorm problems that fellow entrepreneurs are having. It was put together by the Kaufman Foundation, who saw there was a need for this, for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs. And we help with solve their business challenges and give them opportunities. If you haven't presented, we'd love to hear about your business and where you run into the wall and help you solve it. So, who's in the room? Who's our first time visitors today? Do we have any past presenters in the house? Look at all them. If you've been thinking about presenting, these are the people to talk to. I'll tell you, it's not as scary as it seems. And we couldn't do this if we weren't all doing it for no pay. If you're a volunteer, raise your hand. Thank you, all of us ending. So I thank our community partners. Incubizo, this is a great space. Can you imagine all of us trying to fit into a coffee shop somewhere? It wouldn't work. This is the space to be, and we thank Incubizo for providing it. The Bass Nights, Hazel Park, Chamber of Commerce, always a good friend and providing good stuff for all of us in Oakland Thrive, helping out entrepreneurs all across Oakland. They have a lot of great programs. And we like to thank our photographers. We have 2 photographers that do this at no cost. We have Dave from BMB Studios and
Carmen.
Carmen's from KUA. Darby, I don't know who's doing it today because I haven't seen anyone.
Oh, they'll show.
So we're going to be doing artist sketches of all of you. Today, my presenter is Unity Trust. Vaughn will be up here in a minute, tell you all about it. Our coffee sponsor. We've got Flavor of the Soul. If you were here last week and liked her, you're going to love her this week because she got treats. Next week, we've got Civic with TJ Whitney and Bright Path AI Solutions with Tamara. And next week's coffee sponsor, Justin McKnight. Call him up, tell him to make sure he brings lots of coffee. Of course. Speaking of coffee sponsors, if you would like to be a coffee sponsor, this is your chance to get up here and pitch your business to all of us. You can say whatever you want for 4 to 5 minutes. Just email us, get a date, or talk to Christine. Raise your hand, Christine. I like to get her when she's eating donuts. and she will get you a date. Not or an evening out, but a date to come and be a sponsor. And then bring the coffee and some snacks. That's, planned for us to be about 70 people, because look around, there's a lot of us. Speaking of which, you liked her last week, you love her this week, Jackie!
Good morning. It's Jackie Jackson, police on the soul, and currently 15 years. So right here. You know, I have quicker this thing. Okay. Oh, we can. So Flavor for the Soul, Detroit-based dessert company, and we do sober spike, sometimes vegan and sugar-free. And with that, sober is your traditional desserts where you grew up with your grandmother or that you reminded yourself of your nostalgia of your childhood. Spike is infused with your favorite libation. So if you want a bourbon pound cake or tequila sugar cookies,
Yes.
I'm able. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm able to do that as well as the sugar free goes with dietary restrictions. There's sugar conscious. And then the last one is vegan, no animal byproduct is what we're known for. And so we're transitioning to corporate catering. So I'm asking if you have any special events, any celebratory events going on, and you need some tasty desserts, please consider us. What?
Point it over here. Other way.
Oh, and so we're able to do displays. It's like today we're headed to AAA for 125 cupcakes being delivered and displayed. So again, if you have anything that you need, I'm asking for your purchase. I'm asking for consideration. With you working and your employer, if you need something special, unique, if you want employee appreciation, I am your person. Again, one and all, Detroit based. It started in 2011. And I'm asking for the sale as well as some introductions. That's what I'm asking for today. Oh, thank you.
Let's point it this way.
What's that? Oh, that is here. Thank you for listening. Very short. So, thank you. So I enjoy you. And there it is. Thank you.
And if you haven't tried it, try all the foods. They're delicious. I had one of them lemon things got all in my mustache, so it tasted.
Oh, gosh.
We have a super secret double surprise coffee sponsor. Would someone from Fifth Third go up here and take the light? Or a bunch of you, because they brought up us.
Boss.
Hello, how's everybody doing this morning? I'm Tanya Rose. I'm the Community Impact Manager for the state of Michigan. And we're on our community outreach tour. I'm not sure if anybody saw the big rig in the back and school bus that we take everywhere during the month of June. And then in July, we'll be over on the west side of the state. I just wanted to invite you to come on the bus. We partner with Oakland Pride and partner on community programming like this one. And we'll be doing some pitch competitions with them. There'll be prize money that we'll be giving away. We also are providing resources about down payment assistance. We've seen people get up to about $16,000 in down payment assistance for those that need it. But just wanted to come up and say hello, let you guys know if you have some resources available to you. And hopefully when this is all done, you'll come out and check us out and find out more information. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to come out today. Bye.
Thank you.
So you got a business. Chances are you got problems, because that goes with having a business. We can help you solve it. So if you're ready to present, here's an even bigger QR code than the present QR code we showed you earlier. Just go to it, you sign up, we'll give you a coach, we'll give you a template for your slides, we'll walk you through it, and you get to come up here, tell us what your issues are, or how can we help you. And then a whole bunch of us will come up and give you all kinds of great ideas. So you're ready to present. QR code. Speaking of presenting, here's today's presenter. Today. Okay, for Unity Trust, yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Right.
I'm Vaughn. I'm with Unity Trust. We are let's see, okay, good, awesome. So Unity Trust, we are a medical captive. We're providing group insurance for small and medium businesses. We were founded by two doctors, Greg and Ted Naiman, who run the Epic Health clinics that you may see. I believe we have one in Woodward and between 11 and 12, several in Southfield, throughout the Detroit metro area as well. What makes us unique as an organization is, again, their focus and desire to help provide affordable health care to individuals, and they've done that through their clinics, through Epic Health, and they created Unity Trust to, again, provide a group benefit mechanism for people to get benefits through their small and medium businesses. It's a provider-driven organization. We use a national network called PHCS as well to help people select what doctors, providers they want. We provide a special tiering for the facilities that they own through Epic Health, and actually One Health is another organization that we're coming merging with as well on the provider side. Our goal really is to help provide, again, affordable group benefits to small, medium businesses, and not just affordable for the company that's paying the premium or part of the premium, but also for their employees as well. So we have in mind, for example, financial incentives for members to utilize the better providers that we believe provide the best care to individuals. So we reduce, co-pays, costs, they may pay out of pocket when they utilize our tier one providers. Our other goals, as a small business, you may not understand insurance, you may not understand where is your money going to. So we want to provide full transparency. So while you may work with a broker, or may not, we will provide you, and if you have a broker, your broker, information reporting, help to answer questions about, how your group is performing, where your money is being spent. And we're largely a Michigan-based team. I'm obviously here in Michigan. So I'm from Southfield, live in Southfield. My neighbors are over here too, ironically. Uh, and other familiar faces I've met throughout the years. Um, my coworkers in my office are all Michigan-based folks. We probably have over 120 some years of experience in the healthcare industry. So again, Unity Trust, our solution is basically we're providing a provider-owned medical captive. So we provide affordable coverage for employers with 15 or more employees. We will, our endeavor is to get a savings of up to $2,000 per employee per year on the cost of medical coverage. Members, again, can get immediate high cost care through our different plans. We have 5 plan designs that we offer. So we have more of a traditional PPO, and then we have like what we consider kind of a catastrophic type plan with a high deductible, but it does include a direct primary care product. And then we incentivize, again, we do work with brokers and agents. We do pay those licensed people and organizations commission essentially of about $30 to $50 a month per every employee that gets signed up. What another thing that makes us unique is that we do utilize AI systems, especially in our underwriting. So it helps us turn quotes around usually within 3 days, which is pretty quick. I used to be a broker. I worked in middle market at a large national brokerage firm, and it was, going to a local carrier. I won't mention any names. Maybe their color is blue or green and white, or orange. And you'd probably spend easily a week to 2 weeks to get a quote back for a group, regardless of size. So, being able to get quotes back within 3 days is kind of game changing. And it also helps you as a business owner make your decisions faster. You have that information. The other thing I'll say is that when it comes to us quoting, because we have 5 standard plan designs, we will give you rates for all 5 plans. You don't have to come back and say, I want to see this one. When you quote, we quote, will give you all 5 plan designs. So you can understand what the prices are for those different plan designs. So that's another savings. So our biggest challenge as a new company is that we're unknown in the market, right? I mean, you wouldn't, if you're looking for insurance, we don't necessarily come to mind. So we've got to get our name out there. Employers don't know we exist, and a lot of brokers don't know we exist. A lot of my marketing, my outreach has been to former colleagues, places I've worked, people I've networked with over the years that are brokers and agents. That's been the extent of it. So like LinkedIn, I've done emails. We use Go High Level kind of as our marketing and CRM currently. The other issue we've had is I started September of last year. We got our certificate of authority effective January 1st. So we kind of missed the season of when companies select benefits. So we're kind of in that dry season right now. Not a lot of companies are doing what we consider off-cycle benefit selection. That means they're getting benefits effective for January 1st. Most companies look at that between maybe late September through probably mid-November. Though there's some companies that make decisions really, really late and it gets dragged into December. We actually did that this year as we made some adjustments and changes to our plans internally. But ultimately, that is the gap that we have is that, we're here, we've got to get through to the season when agents, brokers, and companies are looking, to change benefits, to save money, and ultimately in that process, get our name out there and help people know who we are, what we can do, and also have hopefully some demonstrable evidence behind us to show why you would select us based on cost and quality as well. Um, so what we tried so far, as I mentioned, our marketing efforts have included Go High Level marketing campaign, email blast, phone campaign through Go High Level. I've created workflows essentially where, I've gotten lists for different organizations. I've gotten lists for security companies, PEO, professional employment organizations. I've looked at, medical practices and ancillary medical companies. I've looked at consumer services, lawnscaping, things of that sort. So I've tried different industries that we have marketed to, as well as in general, just business associations and door knocking. I'll pull a list from Zoom and I will go to, wherever those addresses are. If they're in the office building, I will literally work, top to bottom floor, door knocking, dropping off flyers and talking, introducing myself. Uh, Again, another thing we tried as brokers and agents. So, we've, reached out to different agencies and brokers, whether it was the large national companies or local, regional, or mom and pop shops, as I call them. And, we network with them, talk to them, I have kind of a cadence list of folks that I do email or reach out to periodically about their products and their writing. Um, so that's, some of the things that we tried. Uh, and then, results, I've quoted groups. Unfortunately, haven't won anything yet. I do have one outstanding quote, so I'm hoping that I will hear something maybe from that agent today. We came into really good savings. Um, Visibility on LinkedIn. So, everyone here, probably on LinkedIn, I had people reach out to me and they saw the post that I was presenting today. I know when I post that things on LinkedIn, I try and post at least twice a week. Um, Probably should do a little bit more, but my minimum is at least twice a week to post. And I see, I do get the metric emails saying, hey, I have some interaction. I usually get probably about 150 views every time I post something. Don't get too many comments, unfortunately, don't get too many likes. So those of you who are on LinkedIn, if we're not connected, definitely connect with me if you see me post. Appreciate it if you'd like or repost. I do that for a lot of folks because it comes through my feed as well. Um, Failures, unfortunately, I think the email call campaigns have resulted in, less than half of our quoting opportunities. We've bought leads from independent sources. So we've used companies like Benepath. There's another company I can't think of off the top of my head. We bought some leads from. Actually, I don't think we ever got leads from them, but we look through it, the cost of acquisition of those leads, them not resulting in any sales or even really quoting, we cut those programs off. So that's something else that hasn't really worked.
Good.
I would say right now our Go High Level is not optimized for a strategic campaign. No one really knows how to use Go High Level at my organization. I did take the time to invest in a 1 week workshop that was free by some Go High Level guru. Allie, I can't think of her last name. She's out of Kentucky. Did a wonderful job explaining some things. But unfortunately, I did find out during that process I didn't have the full access and Go High Level based on what was assigned to me. And then, ultimately, another failure we've had as a company is we've had multiple websites. I've had like 4 emails since I've been there. So it's, one of those things where they've kind of, had different people touching marketing and saying, I'm going to do this from scratch. And it's just, we got to the point where we said, look, we gotta let the marketing team handle the marketing. Like I've had my director of operations for the health plan. I think he's had the last iteration of marketing going to the website. And I think the marketing teams finally said, okay, but we need to take this back and own it. So I think that's been another issue. So, as I've promoted the organization, have flyers out there with, QR codes, websites that aren't updated or aren't going to the correct one. I think even the older one's supposed to be mirroring the new one, but last time I checked it, it wasn't. So, those are, kind of largely my lessons learned. So, again, it's a business, starting from scratch. Nobody knows who we are. In order for people to, in order for you to quote, people have to know that you're an organization that can take the quotes, understanding, who you are, what you service. Traditionally, a lot of medical captives kind of have focuses in industries that they want to pursue. We haven't really developed that yet. Our general overall target, like I said, are just small businesses, 15 or more employees. I'd probably say we're focused in industries that are gonna have younger, healthier employees, or just in general healthier employers, not necessarily younger, but healthier. So we're probably more, I'd say, white collar technology and finance focus, at least ideally for an ideal customer. However, I do know for a lot of manufacturing, a lot of, good demographics in that as well, especially for some of your smaller tier two, tier three automotive suppliers. So, so again, what my ask for you guys today is, what other marketing tactics would you recommend? Referrals are great too. If anyone, is 15 or more, knows someone who, might be interested in trying to save money, love to, do that. And then, what are we missing in our marketing campaign? What are we missing is, if you understand the insurance industry, what can we do? Then our other thing is, I guess HR directors, part of the process of working with small businesses, usually the owner, if they're small, really small, if they're, getting to be larger, they usually have an HR head that we work with, quoting and work with benefits. So that's basically it. So I'm open to any suggestions and, hope I can get.
Thank you, Vaughn. Nicely done. All right, who's got some good advice they want to share with Mr. Vaughn? You, young man in the blue shirt, come on.
Hey, Jack Chapana, Global Payments. Nice
Hey,
to
Jack, thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I work with a lot of small businesses and offices out there, and I see a common theme of people not able to afford, even care for their employees. Um, One thing I would say is that they're also looking for HR help as well, and that's where and I know there's been some partial HR businesses out there that have come to this meeting that have provided those services to small business. And I think that would be a good ancillary, you know, hook into those HR. So when they're pitching um, payroll or they're pitching insurance or whether it's healthcare or other types of insurance, I think yours could go along with that. And you definitely get some traction. I would feel with so many offices out there. Um, and also accountants. So I'm not sure if you tried accountants before, but that's not really their job. They don't want to have to worry about finding healthcare for the businesses that they represent, along with other services. So I think building relationships with them would also be good for you.
Thank you. Actually, so it's ironic you mentioned accountants because we have CPAs as a list, in our, who we're trying to pursue. I have a coworker, my boss, they used to work together for one of the payroll companies, and that's how they sold a lot of payroll systems to accountants. So that's something they mentioned. We're pursuing. My coworkers actually supposed to be getting the list and help me get those meetings. But thank you. That's a good idea. Something definitely you can do. So my boss will be glad to know that he said the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm telling you to do it.
I'm happy to talk with you.
Yeah.
Afterward too.
Okay, appreciate it.
Hello, Vaughn.
Hi.
Daryl with Versatile Marketing and Duracell, and sounds like you really care about what you're doing. Sounds like there's passion behind what you're doing. It's not just sell premiums and benefits. And I think positioning yourself as an expert would be beneficial. through reels,
Okay,
through event.
you say reels, you mean like the short videos?
Yes. Yes. And that doesn't have to, it does, reels can mean a lot.
Yeah.
It can be your face, it can be someone else's face, it can be FaceTime for just a little bit or just no face at all. Different ways to go about the strategy. And anyone, I love the AI qualification. If there's a quicker way to get to that or even promote that
Okay,
as a differentiator, as a way to, that's like the first fishing net, it's free and it's quick. Instead of having to book the 30-minute consultation, can I just have the AI qualify me right now so I can get paid and get started?
so they're actually working on that in the website to kind of create that where you can upload your census to do that. I don't know where they are in that process, but that's one of the things that we're focused on trying to do is to try and take that process out, please, because that eliminates the 3-day period too. To your point, so now as an organization, I'm interested. I go to unityplans.com, throwing that out there, and then people can put that information there. Right now, we have, I think, a cost audit is listed. So you kind of roughly put the information in, and it kind of gives you a high level savings opportunity to kind of show you then options. You make an appointment with me for 30 minutes. But ultimately, yeah, you are trying to get the system to do an actual quote. So thank you.
That absolutely, that's the content piece. There's so many ideas. I think leaning in, if I were your marketing agency, I would lean into your passion and into your knowledge, setting you up as an expert and talking about what Unity can do versus the other insurance.
Thank you. And actually, I think the biggest takeaway from that is really doing the real putting the content out there, but that gets back to the social media strategy to promote the organization. I've done in my previous job a while back, I did some videos, but they were more of when I did a message to someone through LinkedIn. It was a quick video, hey, I'm Vaughn reaching out to you because I saw you have this organization, blah, 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 right? But I think that would be good to have that post on the LinkedIn page. Because right now I just do general, posts. I'll run into my Gemini that I use for LinkedIn. It's got all our data information, so full stats and numbers from things I've uploaded. I have it make maybe 3 posts, and I just do periodically through the week try and put at least 2 posts up there. Maybe make a graphic to go with it. But the reels, I think, would be good to have too.
Well, let's talk afterwards. I'm here to help you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
So I was thinking if I were in your shoes, how would I attack the marketplace and get the word out, right? So I want to first address LinkedIn. That's kind of like my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And what I would tell you is position yourself as an SME. And position yourself as a person who provides clarity to small business owners about the health insurance process. Because you hit the nail on the head. I'm a small business owner. So I have a small business. I have 1099s, I have W-2s. And the last thing I want to think about is health insurance. Right. And I'm from the industry. I'm a former investment advisor. That's what I did for well over a decade.
Okay.
And I worked quite a bit in the health insurance industry. And I don't like thinking about it. So the other thing I would share with you as well, don't pay attention to the impressions.
Okay.
Go to LinkedIn and look who's looking at your content. Look who's viewing you. Because the action in LinkedIn is not found on the impressions, it's found in the DMs. Right?
Yeah.
So if I were you and I was posting or positioning myself as an SME on LinkedIn, I would post that content. I think your cadence is great twice a week. I would go to that section on LinkedIn, you can look at who's looking at you. And then I would show up in their DM and I would say, hey, look, I see you're a small business owner. If you don't mind, I love the opportunity to chat with you about solving some of your problems as it relates to the health insurance space. A lot of the small business owners I deal with oftentimes don't understand the space. It's like the last thing you want to be dealing with. I'd like to provide you with some clarity. Would you be open to that conversation? And I'm telling you, there are a lot of small business owners that will respond to the DMs, yes.
Okay.
And then if you have some type of minimum viable product, I don't care if it's a one sheeter, I don't care if it's a type form, or even if it's a small, like 2-3 page ebooklet, just giving them a little bit of education about how to navigate the space. I think that would get you a lot more traction on LinkedIn, right? The other thing I was thinking about while I was listening to you is I would also go after HR people on LinkedIn. And it's the same thing, right? I go after the group space. I work for a lot of corporations here in Detroit Metro, quite frankly, outside the state of Michigan. They do this for a living and they, right, they hate that process of actually having to figure out how to discern who we should work with and who shouldn't. If you could provide some type of information that provides clarity, helps them make blink decisions, and then of course position yourself as a solution, right?
Yeah.
But if you provide content just simply to educate them and help them discern what providers we should use,
Okay.
that would go a long way. And then I would also encourage you to consider, I think you said it, but you have some type of affinity program where people are willing to refer.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wouldn't go after the big brokers because you know they're arrogant. I should say this in recording. I wouldn't go after the larger brokers. Like, if any of y'all looking at me, I don't mean you. But anyway, I know about you. But look, the smaller brokers are the low hanging fish. You know what I mean? And I would just literally use AI to create a list of like 50 to 100 of them.
Mhm.
And I would say, look, we know you're having difficulty getting in the groups just like we are. Look, this is the blueprint. This is the way in which we can help your clients make better decisions and make you look good. And we can come in behind, provide clarity, and provide services, right? And a really nice affinity program, I'll defer that to you what that could look like. I think it'll go a long way with smaller brokers. So get squeezed right now.
Yeah.
Because of what's, yeah, the larger brokers are buying up the little fish. And so the little fish and the medium fish, they're looking for ways to create more value, increase their value proposition above just making the sit.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I would think critically about in terms of getting more traction in the marketplace and putting yourself in a place where you're considered the SME, you're considered that guy. Your competition isn't doing that. I'm on LinkedIn all day, every day. Your competitors are not.
Yeah. I assume you have like a subscription service to LinkedIn, not just the free basic.
So I started out on the free basic and then they punished me. So I refused to pay for premium.
Yeah.
So when I got to about 20,000 followers, I got a message like, you can't use LinkedIn anymore unless you pay. So they forced me to pay.
Okay.
So now I'm up to 30,000 followers and growing.
Okay.
So you can get away with it for a while.
Yeah.
But once we start hitting 10, 15K, you're gonna get that email like means you get the screen.
Okay.
It's inexpensive.
Yeah, I've had Navigator before. I just don't have it now. And again, one of my coworkers has it. Who talked about it because I think part of looking at me sometimes it doesn't tell me. It'll give me one or two people, and then after that, it's like,
Look, Navigator is for enterprise companies. So it's being big.
okay,
It's for enterprise companies. A small business owner using Navigator, that's gonna be too much.
okay.
That premium plan that they have is enough when you're first starting out.
Oh, so something it's not just Navigator. There's something else.
Yeah, there's a lower premium.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what it allows you to do is contact more people. The issue that LinkedIn had with me is I had too much incoming and I was interacting with too many people.
Okay.
And so they said, in order for you to increase this, you have to pay. But their premium is like, they're taking like $30 or $40. I mean, it's minimal.
Yeah.
It's not that much. It's like $30 or $40 a month. And it allows you to continue to reach out to a large volume of individuals.
Okay.
So, like I said before, the biggest mistake people make on LinkedIn is trying to go viral. You don't need to go viral. Just post the content, positions you as the SME,
Yeah.
as the trusted resource. You're providing education, clarity. Go to that part of the page where you can look at all the profiles who are looking at you. And then those are the people whom you engage.
Okay.
And hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I used to when I was a broker. I
Yep.
had Navigator. Used to do that for some of the post people as well.
Yeah.
I just haven't done that here.
Yeah.
So
I just believe keep your expenses low as possible until you have to level up. You know what I mean? And right now, based on where you're at, that premium plan is gonna be fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Change card.
How you doing? I'm Matt.
Hey man.
I'm from Gabber Media. Just wanted to add a little bit more from my point of view. Number one, if you can get on local business podcasts, talk about what you do, that would be my first suggestion.
Okay.
Number two, just tactically from a clarity standpoint, because when I start thinking about insurance, my brain just goes somewhere else. And as somebody who's just had to recently go through the broker process, what I would appreciate is like, I agree with Daryl completely on the make the reels. I agree with Vaughn completely about the clarity piece. What that can look like is something as simple as if you think you can't get better premiums with, smaller insurance agencies, let me let you know you can. And then you break it down. So start with that pain point of like, there's confusion in your space. I wouldn't buy anything I don't understand. If I understand, I went with a smaller agency because I started to understand, oh, it's the same coverage with a different name. I can get what I need for my family. That's what they need.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, every single piece of content they can make. This is your problem, business owner. This is how we help. This is how you do it. And I agree completely with Daryl. As a lead generator, take our free AI thing, boom, capture their email. Now they're in your circle. Get it. Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, lots of great ideas this morning. There's a few people have stole some that I had. One thing I did not see on your stuff is I didn't see any paid advertising.
So we do have some paid advertising, again, traditionally because of how the marketing has been disjointed and not into marketing. So they were doing a lot of Instagram, Facebook, which I've completely said, hey, I don't think a lot of small businesses are on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, they are.
Sure.
That's just a piece of the whole marketing idea, whole marketing plan. But I mean, when I say paid advertising, I mean it needs to be radio, there needs to be TV if that's in the budget as a startup. It's probably not a lot of money in the budget for that.
Yeah.
But those are huge because if you think about Pat and you think about all these other companies, that's your competition.
Yep.
They're out there. So paid advertising is really, really going to be important. And because this is summer in Michigan, everybody's at a festival, everybody's at some sort of outdoor activity. If you're not doing tables or you're not there and those, you're handing out trinkets and trash and you're doing the stuff to get your name out there. You want that magnet on somebody's refrigerators when it's time, your name is out there. So those are some of the things you should be adding to that strategic marketing plan.
Okay, thank you. I always think of the sign on 75 right by Davidson. Usually, it's either vacant, for advertisement, or I see the cap sign up there.
There you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Nice to
Oh.
meet you. This is my first time here, so I don't really know how to swear. So thank you. Thank you. I feel a little bit like formal. Yeah, so I guess like something that I was thinking about, it seems like a lot of what we're talking about is like the channels by which people might be learning about you. And I guess something that I was curious about as I was listening to this was like what is like kind of the messaging that you're sharing? Because I learned a little bit. I'd love to learn more about the actual like logistics of the plan, because I think as a small business owner, I'm not a small business owner, but if I was one, I think I would be concerned about like, what if one of my employees ends up in the hospital and then suddenly I have, a huge bill that I didn't know, like how does your plan support that? You probably have an answer. And then even with the AI underwriting, I'm wondering like, I don't know if I have an employee that's getting cancer treatment or something, how does that factor into my underwriting, the quote that I might get? And does the AI give me an answer of like how that factored in? Do I know what goes into that? What does that transparency look like? Yeah, I just have a lot of questions.
Okay. Yeah.
And so those are things that came to mind for me and made me wonder how might that factor into the messaging that you're giving?
So largely the messaging we post, is, again, audiences either to brokers and agents or to the businesses directly. And that's usually my posts are one of the two. I focus kind of in general on, we're going to save you money, $2,000 per employee per year type savings. We may focus on maybe the technology capabilities of the AI, how we're reinvesting in technology, using AI not just for the underwriting, but maybe for patient care, some of those types of things as well. Or sometimes messaging. I'd say more so for the business side, where we're focused on the small business and marketing, at least the messages that I'm putting out, again, are we can save you money, we're gonna help you get transparency and understanding of what you're spending your money on. Focus on the quality of the benefits as well. How does this tie into your recruiting and retention strategy as well? So those are the things we do. Now, I will say, when it comes to us quoting, when we do part of the AI processes, we use a system that will kind of give us a couple different risk scores, and it will actually give us information about medical conditions and drugs that are being taken by that population. So we can kind of share that information with the group, if we, are going to quote them or not quote them, because that's part of our a check as we determine, do they have a risk score that we can take? If we're gonna, be willing to underwrite at that point. We don't do, so a lot of captures sometimes we do individual medical underwriting, so everyone will have to fill out an application, for the individual. We kind of do it at a group level. We basically look and say, hey, is there, this is our risk threshold. If they're there or below, we'll underwrite them. If they're above our risk threshold, we'll decline to quote. And then, we'll kind of share with them, say, hey, well, you have these high cost claimants in there, you have these things that are actively treated that, we can't take you for it. So,
Okay, so like just two thoughts. One, I wonder if there's a way to capture, it sounds like you're already doing like a good bit of getting the word out, and I've had a lot of great advice about other ways to do that today. So I wonder if there's ways that you can also capture any like concerns or like objections that you might be getting from people, from potential customers, so that that might be something that you can just use to kind of tweak and hone your messaging so that it's even clearer to people so that they feel less risk when they're choosing to go with your company. And then another thought that I had around brokers is brokers are getting a lot of information from all of these big payers, right?
Yeah.
And things are changing by the minute with like a Blue Cross Blue Shield or a HAP, and they're just sending like a fax or something to these brokers. And so they have like whole processes and whole teams that are like, and some, I think you brought up a great point about some of the smaller ones might not have a full team that's able to do, like all of the research to understand everything that's changing amongst all of these different plans and payers.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be really important that you are very clear with them about how this is different, like what are those differentiators and who are the exact kinds of customers that might be a fit. So getting that information as you're doing these marketing efforts, like collecting who's listening, who's actually clicking, who's not clicking, who's responding is going to be probably really important for like refining, loading, iterating, making sure that you have a really clear message so that it gets heard by the right people.
okay, thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to work with the marketing department more to kind of get a better understanding with the results of our marketing, I'll say. So we do have that in place to a degree.
Analytics,
Yeah, they have some of the analytics. I haven't gotten deep into it though. Again, something the marketing department is taking back from operations side. So
And sometimes, so I'm a researcher, like a qualitative researcher, and so sometimes there are things that analytics miss because you might, the clicks can be helpful, but just having a conversation with the customer that, like I know you said that you have to quote out. If they don't go with you guys,
Yep.
it might be valuable to just follow up and say, can you tell me a little bit more about like why, like who you went with instead, and why you feel more comfortable.
thank you.
Jennifer Burley, and I'm in Binghamton. So, oh, so a lot of, obviously there's a lot of banks out there, right? So you want to, I think more people will do business with people that they like, right? That they trust. So I think it's more selling you and your image is key because people will listen, they'll take the time. The other thing is when I feel like Daryl said, is doing the little commercials or the little and I would do it more from not from an informational piece because I know that can be very overwhelming, but more from a customer's view of why they went with you, right? Have a customer that actually, or even somebody that you worked with in the past, why they went with you, more selling you, because I feel like then you can then provide all the details in the back. The other thing is making things work behind the scenes. So you're not having to do as much. And that's where those little commercials come in. The other thing is I found was really for me because again, there's a lot of banks out there, right? And for business owners, you get calls. How many calls a day for credit card processing, for banks, for insurance? There's so many, they get bombarded, right? So having the QR code, and Daryl, maybe you could talk more about that, but having the QR code on your business card, having it on your commercials, having it on your website. So when they have time, right? For me, sometimes it's 9 o'clock at night because dinner's done, kids are done. It's my time, right? So I'll click on it and they have to go to your website, right? So the QR code is another good one where it can then direct it to so then that way when they have time, they can take a look at it. Because they may not always have time during the busy part of the day, because they're trying to run their business too. So sometimes you just have to, have things like right there, there's a QR code. So, and again, have things work for you all hours of the day, so it's more convenient for your clients.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the QR code on my business card, I have to look, but I know on the flyers I have
Yeah.
QR code, so.
Yeah, I would do that. And even on your little, if you do your commercials or your things on LinkedIn, a lot of times I'll click on it at night and I'll sit there and read and start looking at stuff, taking notes. So having that there, because I noticed when I put that on my on my business card, I could see there's a lot of people that it was 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, 5 in the morning, where they're on there looking and scrolling through. And then, like I said, have it more from a customer's view of what are some things that you've done and why they've done business with you, even if it's not here in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, 60 seconds. Okay, I just have a question. I'm Selena.
Nice.
You're talking a lot about marketing tactics. I'm curious what your marketing team looks like. Are you using an agency? Do you have in-house? Do you have a social media person?
We have in-house marketing, so I have, one person that's assigned to Unity Trust. They have several businesses that they own, so Unity is one of them signed. They do handle some of the ad placement, like I mentioned before. They're doing Instagram, Facebook, I think they're looking at Google, LinkedIn as well. That kind of upset. Battery's dead. Okay.
Shit like that.
No, I was just saying, so we do have an in-house team. I have one person assigned to help me, specifically Unity Trust. We've done, I personally have done emails, phone calls to go high level. At a workflow set up, so I call
It's a team effort.
it's a team effort.
Yeah.
We do have dedicated, in-house, marketing.
Yeah.
I have been trying, just because no one really knows go high level that well.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get them to get us an outside resource to do that. I will say the operation person had hired an SEO that rebuilt the website, did the ad placement for Facebook and LinkedIn. They started this back in January. I got one lead as of, this week.
It's just like mostly, like all of these questions really revolve around marketing and how to capture your audience. And it sounds like you're trying to do this work, even though that's not necessarily, you're the insurance guy. So it sounds like you need somebody that really is going to take your marketing and work for you, so that you don't have to worry about this. You can worry about
Doing this.
right. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, give Vaughn and all of yourselves a good hand. That was a lot of advice you got.
Yes.
You, not me.
Yeah. Put it down.
Okay.
Unless you need it.
Nope, well, I think so you got a lot of good advice. Your head's probably spinning, but if there was one thing that you could do right away, what would it be?
I think Daryl's advice about the reels on LinkedIn, would probably be more effective in terms of, getting people's attention. I see a lot of reels on LinkedIn. I've been clicking on myself recently. We all do the doom scrolling on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and see the videos. I've started doing it on LinkedIn, for obviously professional content, not cats with laser eyes. And, I think that would be a good idea to implement.
All right, thanks again. Give him another hand. So I'd like to share with you one thing that I really suck at. I always forget to introduce myself to these things. So those who don't want to know me, it's just goofy guy up front. My name is Mike McClure from McClure Marketing. And we have in the house the new director, our new regional director, who happens to be one of us. And she's going to come up and tell you a little bit about what's coming up in the one MC universe, which is not the same as the MC universe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's good. Morning. I'm Sabrina Gillen. I started my one MC journey right here at 1 million cups, Metro Detroit.
DetroitMetro.
Detroit Metro. Gosh, we had to switch the logistics. Detroit Metro. I am actually through 1 million cups, through coming here, I was able to get a contract. I'm a consultant. I was able to get a consulting contract with the Kauffman Foundation, which runs 1 million cups. So that's just like one of those quick stories of how 1 million cups can really make an impact in who you know, how you engage with folks, what you learn while you're here, and how to really utilize those connections to build your business. Sorry, I'm like walking all over, and I know that there's a camera here that I usually get telling people to stand in front of. So a little bit about 1 million cups nationally that I think is really fun for folks to hear about is that you are all showing up here every Wednesday, giving great advice, supporting each other, meeting each other, making those connections. That is happening in 110 communities across the country. There are thousands of people doing this every Wednesday, making these connections, and you're all part of that something bigger. So, my role, I'm the regional network lead, is the official title. And I have the central United States where I get to support the organizing teams. Let's give a hand for our organizing team again. They do a lot of work that y'all don't see going on. I get to support over 270 organizers across the central region, which is North Dakota to Ohio and south to Louisiana. It's a pretty big region. But what I get to do is help organizers figure out how do you make this community inclusive? How do you make sure that people are making connections and not just doing, the the, the networking thing of just throwing your cards at people every day, just like throwing your card at 20 people. That's not what we want to build here, right? We want to build a community of connected people who are able to support each other, who are helping each other out. And my responsibility is to help people do that around the country. But I want you to visualize what this looks like in Copper Country, up in like way UP, where they have 7,000 people in their whole town and they had 362 inches of snow this year. So, as you can imagine, this looks really different in lots of different communities. It's not just in these big metro areas. We're able to support entrepreneurs. We're able to have established businesses, giving great advice like Joanne always does, to communities across the country because Kauffman Foundation, we really believe that entrepreneurship is a way for folks to achieve economic mobility, economic stability, and to really be able to build something for themselves and for future generations. And so, like I said, we are able to be part of this all over. So, my invitation to you, I have a couple invitations of how you can be part of this even more. So, number one is if you're traveling this summer, see if there's a 1 million cups where you're going. It's really fun to go to another 1 million cups and see what it's all about because even if you're going to Ann Arbor, go hang out with Ann Arbor crew one weekend or one Wednesday. But really being able to see what this looks like and to build entrepreneurial connections across the country is something that we're really excited about. We're really trying to encourage folks to do. Um, so there's the 1 million cups website. My advice is search by state, depending on where you're going, because as we just had our conversation, Detroit Metro versus Metro Detroit, you're going to get a different thing when you search it. So search by state, go and see 1 million cups in other communities so you can build that entrepreneurial network even past where we are here in our region. The other way that you can be supportive is tell your friends, bring folks with you, help encourage folks to present because the presenters make this interesting. It makes it exciting. Who's giving advice is, makes this so that you can learn from folks at all times, right? We're constantly learning. I have nothing to do with insurances. And yeah, did I learn about marketing and did I learn about like what that process actually looks like on the back end? So one day, if my business gets there, I'll kind of know who to go to. Yes, right. That's why we show up week after week. But that's only interesting and engaging if we have a lot of different folks showing up and presenting their businesses, which is one of the things I love about this community is, we've had headstones and we have folks who have cottage baking and we have our marketing folks and our finance folks. It's such a diverse group of folks coming together to really share what you know, share what you're doing, and get that support from each other. That's how you can all help is to bring folks from all these different industries into this room. It makes it really interesting and exciting. And I'm always going to say you can volunteer with the organizing team. They do things like making sure we have coffee and making sure this all looks nice, making sure these presenters are able to give their best when they're doing their presentations, making sure the AV and tech are working, that we had an extra set of batteries for the microphone, right? All of these little things. We can't do that without this big organizing team. And so just again, want to thank them. Feel free to ask me questions after. I am going to be hanging around a bit. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. We really are thrilled to have you all here and tell your friends.
All right, give it up for my boss and yours. So Jeremy. When we gotta get back to a regularly scheduled program.
I didn't see how that is mistake.
Oakland Thrive. We couldn't do this without them. And they have all kinds of events. The way I found 1 million cups was when I started my business, I didn't have a clue what to do as someone who runs a business. I knew how to run what I did, but I didn't know like what the heck is a 1099? I don't know. And I went to a couple of Thrive events and I met Daryl. He suggested I come here and it has helped me so much. So I would look at what events they have coming up. They're all free. They all help all of us. I've been to a number of them and it's helped me immensely as I've grown my company. Oh, fun. Now you know.
Oh, here we go. I got you. Okay.
You missed your cue. I guess he wants to start.
Go.
Okay. Events at Incubizo. They also have some great events here. Later this week, there's the Spartan Connect.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I'll be here. There's a cookout. There's throwing little beanbags at little holes and all kinds of fun stuff. So show tomorrow 5:30. If you are a Spartan grad, if you love the Spartans, or if you want to make fun of Spartans, whatever it is, come on, show up. And then the chamber, the Masonites Hazel Park Chamber, bowling fundraisers coming up June 25th. You can RSVP for all these events at that QR code. I don't know how that works, but they
No, the QR.
So, and watch our TVs. There's all kinds of. We used to stand here and you'd have to listen to me for like 10 more minutes of announcements. We said, let's not put you through it. Let's put it all on a giant screen where you can find it for yourself. So make sure you check out the TVs and see what other events and workshops are coming up. I missed you too again.
All right.
So thank you for coming. You're welcome to stay and co-work in this space. That's one of the perks that Incubizo gives us is you can stay for free and go work here all day. Just ask around 10:30. You bring it down to a dull roar because there's actual humanoids in these offices that are trying to do actual work. So this is where we normally make you get together for a picture. My schedule is you'd have to stay for like a long time.
And
All right. Go ahead.
just real quickly, if you are looking for office space or if you're looking to do an event, this space is for rent. If you need a conference room for a board meeting or a family get together, you're planning a family reunion and you need a space that's quiet so you can plan, these conference rooms are available for rent. I don't work for the real estate, but I love this space and it is available to the public to rent. So if you need something like that,